Hello everyone, my name is Peizhen Li. Today, I'm going to talk about the education system in Singapore and some of the challenges and target programs that can be found within it, exploring how education in the small country of Singapore has turned into a leading world leader in front-end education. First, let's take a look at Singapore's excellent performance in the PISA tests. Singaporean students came from fifth in the world in reading, math, and science in 2009 to first in the world in 2015, and then remained in the conspicuous second place in the world in 2018, although not ahead of some regional cities in China. What is it about this small country that allows it to show such excellent educational results? It all starts with the changes in Singapore's society since its independence. Singapore's society has faced a different reconstruction since 1965 in terms of economy, politics, culture, language, and education. As can be seen, the government unified English as the main language of instruction. And the surveys have shown that education is the main investment in Singapore. And that education has brought human resources to Singapore, thus improving the country's economic status. Politically, the government has provided financial assistance to different groups of students to ensure that every Singaporean child has access to formal education. It is also promoting the concept of teaching less and learning more. Speaking of the education system in Singapore, which in brief follows the implementation of the 642 education system. The three numbers represent the number of years a student corresponds from primary school to university. The first particular point in this education system is the stream selection of schools after primary school, which is now turned to be subject-based banding. The other one is called Skills Future, which is open to all citizens of Singapore. First of all, let's have a look at what streaming is. There are three streams to determine where the primary students would go after the final examination, namely Express stream, Normal Academic stream, and the Normal Technical stream. However, this categorical system of education, which determines the future direction of the student's studies, has gradually been replaced by a new type of stratification based on specific subjects. The new classification of subjects gives students the freedom to combine courses they wish to pursue in greater depth according to their strengths. With more specific competence in the different subjects, allowing students to go further into subject-specific levels of study and deeper into more advanced knowledge. In this program, the potential of students in their areas of expertise can be maximized. One of the reports about the 7S elements being introduced in the curriculum is about the objective of the practical application of curriculum stratification. The 7S stands for specific abilities, suitability, self-concepts, stigmas, student-centric schools, social attitudes, and subjective well-being. Specific abilities indicate that in subject-based banding, as known as SBB, each subject is independent. It allows students to combine different subjects with different levels based on their abilities. The second one, suitability. This represents the interest-based and passion-driven motivations by the students. They need to think about what they like so that they can put more effort into the study area in order to show more potential as well. The third one, self-concepts, explain how students see themselves. The more confidence they feel within the field they're good at, the better they will achieve in the future. Then, in the SBB system, although students are still being put into three bands, the G1, G2, and G3, it is not like the original streaming one, by putting them exactly in that group. SBB allows students to cross into different bands levels, thus reducing the stereotypes and stigma. Furthermore, schools should focus on the paces of each student. They should be moved around to different levels at appropriate times. Social attitudes basically means that what parents and teachers should do to students. As the student-centric schools, parents and teachers should be student-centered as well. Parents should bring a more growth mindset instead of a fixed mindset to assist students to develop and explore more in their interests. Last but not the least, it is all about letting students feel more positive about themselves. When they find out what really suits them, positive effects will follow them later on when they go to society. If these 7 objectives are followed and practiced, subject-based banding system will be maximized. The next objective that will be discussed is the Skills Future Program that the Singapore government is talking about, more commonly known as Lifelong Learning Program. It encourages lifelong learning for every Singaporean, and in addition, it wants all Singaporeans to gain a sense of achievements during their lifelong learning. It will focus more on the skills that people need to survive. The government promotes more experience and learning opportunities in personal learning and vocational training. But this program does not place much emphasis on academic competence, but more on real-world development and experience. Skills Future refers to 3 concepts: mastery, meritocracy, and you. The idea is to increase the sense of achievement in different fields and the intrinsic value of personal pursuit of interest and learning. In principle, it is through the Skills Future movement that lifelong learning is being promoted, so that people can be better equipped with the appropriate skills and knowledge in a globalized and rapidly developing economy. The government has decided to introduce vocational training in higher education. In Singapore's tertiary education, students in technical education colleges and polytechnics will receive 40 to 60 hours of workplace skills content, and the government has also provided financial credits to the over 25s group to help boost the number of job placements. After having a short view on these 2 interesting points in the Singaporean education system, I've been asking myself, why have these 2 objectives in education been chosen as the focus of discussion? In my perspective, whether it is a streamed education or tiered one by subject, it is in fact a demonstration of Singapore's elitist approach to education and the desire for students at the forefront of academics to have access to better learning resources. Although the transformation of the streamed education also represents a change in the Singaporean government's philosophy on education, where the government wants students to actually apply what they learn and not just stop at superficial academic diploma or exams. The government is also aware of the negative effects of forced certification of students after primary school, such as the labeling of students and the impact on the psychological self-esteem of primary school students. Secondly, the Skills Future program is intended to emphasize development beyond academic achievement. Although this program is still in conflict with Singapore's original meritocratic ideology, the government hopes that this proposal will change the original ideology of academic excellence to a more practical and career-related quality development. Finally, a cursory analysis of Singapore's education system reveals that the system is rigidly enforced and that the government is now moving towards a less teaching, more learning perspective, preferring to give students more experience in skills rather than just diplomas and exams, and developing students' specific potential while also thinking about what education really means for Singaporean citizens, whether it is a doorstep to a career or is it a lifetime of wealth. That is all for my presentation, and thanks for listening. Also, feel free to leave any comments.